Welcome guys to a tutorial video on how to summon different types of monsters in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Using the game mechanics. Anyways, let's get right into it. The Xyz Summon. So before we actually get into Xyz Summoning, we need to read what an Xyz monster looks like. So number 17, Leviathan Dragon will be our example. So Xyz monsters are black cards. They lie in the extra deck with fusion monsters and synchro monsters. So the stars are now on the left instead of the right, which signifies that they are ranks instead of levels. So rank 3 for number 17, Leviathan Dragon. Since they are not levels, they do not have the level, so that does not mean that they're level 0. So you cannot use an Xyz monster as synchro material or ritual material even, because since it's not treated as levels, it's not level 0 either. So you cannot attribute them for a ritual summon or synchro summon as synchro material. To Xyz Summon, you require two monsters with the same level, such as Tour Guide from the Underworld and Sangan. They are both level 3 monsters, so you put them on top of each other, which is called overlaying, and then put the number 17 Leviathan Dragon right on top of both of those monsters, and this is called the Xyz Summon. So the monsters attached to it underneath of the number 17 monster is called Xyz materials. So basically, whenever an Xyz monster says detach one Xyz material, you basically send one of the monsters attached to it underneath to the graveyard to activate its effects. Also to note, you cannot use tokens as Xyz materials because tokens cannot become Xyz materials, therefore they cannot be used to perform an Xyz summon. Although you can use tokens for synchro summoning, fusion summoning, and even ritual summoning, but you cannot use them for Xyz summoning in particular. We are detaching Sangan to the graveyard to activate number 17's Leviathan Dragon's effect, gaining 500 attack points. So Sangan was sent to the graveyard. Do we get its effect? That would be no, because it was not on the field, it was actually underneath the number 17 Leviathan Dragon as Xyz material, which is kind of like in Xyz Space, which means it was sent basically from Xyz Space to the graveyard, which does not fulfill the requirement of Sangan being on the field to the graveyard. However, in this case, Dandylion, if Dandylion was used as Xyz material instead of Sangan and was sent to the graveyard, its effect will activate because it was sent to the graveyard from Xyz Space to the graveyard. It doesn't matter where Dandylion was because it does not specify on the card. So that works for Dandylion. Some more things with Xyz Space in them. So Dimensional Fissure says any monster sent to the graveyard is banished instead. If monsters are underneath an Xyz monster as Xyz material, they are not treated as monsters, they are treated as Xyz material cards. So if they are indeed sent to the graveyard as Xyz material, they are not banished instead. If the Xyz monster is on the field, the Xyz monster is indeed banished if it is sent to the graveyard, because it is a monster on the field. Macrocosmos in particular says any card sent to the graveyard is removed from play instead, aka banished, which means the Xyz materials are still cards, so they will get banished under Macrocosmos. Same with Masquerade Darklaw, any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead. Any card is the specific key term right there. Sometimes Xyz monsters require more than 2 Xyz materials to make the Xyz monsters, such as the Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, rank 8, requires 3 level 8 monsters, and other Xyz monsters can require even more Xyz monsters if needed be. And other Xyz monsters require really specific types or attributes or whatever condition, just because the Xyz monster might have a pretty powerful effect, so that's why it's kind of specific and limited. Ranking up Xyz monsters when using a rank up magic spell card, shortened to RUM. So Fairy Cheer Girl is a rank 4 Xyz monster, using rank up magic Baron's Force, a rank up magic spell card, to target the Fairy Cheer Girl, making it into an Xyz material, overlaying it to form Chaos Xyz Dark Fairy Cheer Girl, rank 5. You could technically normally Xyz summon the Dark Fairy Cheer Girl using 3 level 5 monsters, but it has additional effects if you use Fairy Cheer Girl as an Xyz material. It gains additional effects. Sometimes ranking up Xyz monsters could be more than just one rank higher, it could be multiple ranks, such as this example right here. Logia is a rank 4 Xyz monster, using the rank up magic Astro Force, which can bring an Xyz monster to 2 ranks higher. Could be Solda right here, which is rank 6, from rank 4 to rank 6, so you could just skip some ranks even. So this card could be also Xyz Summon using 2 level 6 dinosaur type monsters, but it could be easier just to rank it up from a Logia to a Solda. Another example could be Raid Raptor's Blaze Falcon, which is a rank 5 Xyz monster, using the rank up magic Doom Double Force, which what happens when a Xyz monster, Raid Raptor Xyz monster is destroyed by battle and sent to graveyard, you can special summon it, then Xyz Summon using that Xyz monster, which will be the Blaze Falcon in this case, as Xyz material to Xyz Summon a Xyz monster with double its rank. Since Blaze Falcon has a rank of 5, you can Xyz Summon for a rank of 10, which is Raid Raptor's Ultimate Falcon. Ranking up Xyz monsters using absolutely nothing. So sometimes Xyz monsters actually have a built-in effect when they can Xyz Summon themselves using another Xyz monster as Xyz material. A famous example would be number 39 Utopia, ranking up into an S39 Utopia the Lightning, which is 1 rank higher, but has an effect in the card text that says you can Xyz Summon this card using a rank 4 Utopia monster as Xyz material, and all the Xyz materials from that card is attached to this card as well. So that is an example right there. More examples could be 39 Utopia with Utopia Lightning once again, Cyber Dragon Nova into Cyber Dragon Infinity. Infinity has that effect where you can Xyz Summon this card using Cyber Dragon Nova specifically as Xyz material. Also the Xyz monsters, Xyz material is transferred over because it says in that card text. Same with number 107 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon with number 95 Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon has that effect. You can use the Galaxy Eyes Xyz monster you control as Xyz material. Xyz monsters are transferred over once again in the description of that monster. Using Xyzs. So this card is special. Number F0 Utopic Future and number S0 Utopic Zexal. So these guys require Xyz monsters as Xyz material, which is pretty weird, as well as they don't have a rank, technically, because it's kind of like the special case with the Ultimea with the Synchros. This guy, or these guys, have the rank of 1. However, it doesn't really require like 2 level 1 monsters, so that's why they didn't add that rank in, I'm guessing. So this card, for the number F0, requires 2 Xyz monsters with the same rank except for number monsters, and S0 specifically require 3 number Xyz monsters with the same rank. So basically their requirements are different from each other, but they have pretty awesome effects.